Now that is the new Citroen C5 Aircross, and if you're after an SUV that has good tech, is really comfortable, and has plenty of powertrain options, well, there's a lot to like here, but this car's also got a secret weapon because it's really, really affordable. In fact, it's so affordable that it's going to have some of those Chinese brands looking over their shoulders. So, when I say inexpensive, what do I mean? Well, the C5 Aircross starts at just over 30k, which is really, really affordable for a car of this size. That is for the mild hybrid. Now, the electric one actually only starts at 34, which is incredibly competitive. There's also a plug-in hybrid, which has about 200 horsepower, and that sits at the top of the range and is only available in the top of the 3 specs of the other 2 engines. So, all round, incredible value from Citroen. So what are each of those engines like to drive? Well, we haven't driven the basic hybrid, but the plug-in hybrid does feel a little bit slow compared to the plug-in hybrids that are elsewhere in the class. Now, it's got about 200 combined horsepower, and it is still quite a heavy car, so it's not really a rocket ship, but it's not really designed to be. But the numbers that actually make the most sense there are the electric range figures, because it does about 50 miles on a charge, which is pretty good for the class. Again, nothing outstanding, but you have to remember the price point at under 40k, which is pretty incredible. The electric version, which we're driving now, will start off with a 73 kilowatt hour battery and get around 300, 320-ish miles on a charge, not groundbreaking. The important thing though is that price point, 34k for something that does about 300 miles. Very impressive indeed. The other thing that this car does extremely well, and something that feels quite different to a lot of its rivals, is the ride quality. Because, as you would expect with the Citroen, this car is biased towards comfort. This one feels particularly well sorted. Now, the PHEV that we drove yesterday, we did find actually rode with a little bit more compliance. This electric model, because of that extra weight of the battery, doesn't ride quite as well, but generally speaking, it is a really comfortable car. It's also really spacious. Now, this is on the Stella Medium platform, which is the same one that you'll find on the 3008 and 5008, and also a couple of other models. And in general, we find it to be a really practical body shell, but this one takes it a little bit further because it's quite boxy, and also the rear seats are exceptionally wide and comfortable. The doors also open nice and wide, which makes loading kids in and out really easy. Now, the boot space is pretty standard. It does about 650 litres, but that is across all 3 engines, which is really interesting. There is a little bit of underfloor storage, which means that the cables can sit under the main floor, which is really handy when you have all of life's other rigmarole in the boot. And generally speaking, as a complete practicality package, it actually does really, really well. Whilst we're here, let's also talk about the dashboard and the general sort of tech setup. Now, we've got 2 main digital interfaces. We've got a 10-speed screen in front of me, and we've also got a 13-inch upright screen here that handles all of your nav and that sort of thing. These systems are not groundbreaking. They're not going to have so much detail or depth as a premium car, but they work really well, even compared to those sort of massive screens that you see on the Chinese rivals. The other thing that's quite nice is that we've got a wireless phone charger here and wireless connection for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which does look very slick on the screen. A final thing to mention in here is storage, because it's pretty good, but without being amazing. Now, this feels very much so like a car designed for Europe, because the cup holders are quite small. They're not going to fit one of those giant water bottles that you'll find in something American. There's also some extra storage down here under this sort of main console thing. It is painted white, which is a bit strange. It does mean that you're going to be able to see what's in there, but we wonder how long it's going to stay white when coffee and chocolate wrappers are involved. But generally speaking, the whole cabin is actually a really nice experience. It doesn't feel budget, it doesn't feel low rent at all. It feels absolutely up to scratch and very modern. It doesn't break any boundaries, as much like the rest of the car, but inherently it does the job, and it does it really well. Now, fundamentally, this car doesn't rewrite any of the rules, but it is a really solid family car that's comfortable and, as mentioned before, really, really affordable. So if it's something that you're interested in and you like the style, there's absolutely no reason not to go for it. We really like this car.